Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to have a quick look at the Earfun Free Pro 2, which surprised me with its performance, especially considering its price. But let me tell you all the details right after the intro. So the Earfun Free Pro 2 are the successor to the Free Pro, which I liked a lot because those buds delivered an impressive performance for $60. Decent ANC, excellent comfort, snug fit and a dynamic sound. And I kind of described what you can expect from the Free Pro 2 as well, but everything got turned up a notch and we can see improvements all across the board on the new buds. The price went up to $80, but these buds are still considered to be affordable in my opinion, and you can also find good deals on them, so check out the description for up-to-date prices and possible discounts. And before I forget, I have to tell you that I got the buds from the manufacturer for this review, but no money exchanged hands, and all you get is my completely honest and unfiltered opinion of the product. Back to the buds, the Free Pro 2 buds weigh in at around 4.5 grams each, which might be a fraction lighter than the Free Pro, but Earfun did not change much at all in terms of the general design of the buds. Except for the touch panel area on the outside, which has this metallic dark grey color instead of the old glossy black. I love the new look as it's less prone to fingerprints and scratches. And since the plastic body of the buds remained essentially unchanged, the comfort is as excellent as before. And so is the fit. The buds are very low profile and they sit flush with my ears, and thanks to the rubber ear wings, they won't even budge during running or training in the gym. We get 4 sets of silicone ear tips in the box and 3 sets of those rubber ear wings, which again play a crucial role in the secure fit of the buds. You can play mix and match with the separate tips and wings until you find the perfect fit for yourself. The IPX5 rating along with Earfun's own sweat shield technology can handle sweat and rain with ease, so you don't need to worry about that either. Onto the case, it's a tiny one and it's surprisingly well built. It doesn't feel and certainly doesn't look cheap at all. In fact, it feels more premium than some so-called premium cases I encountered before. My favorite part is that sleek aluminum alloy ring that wraps around the case. The lid is also solidly built, it opens and closes firmly, while the whole case is very pocket-friendly. And we get Qi wireless charging support as well, not just the usual USB-C charging port on the back, so that can be a huge plus in the eye of potential buyers. The total battery life is 30 hours with ANC turned off or 25 hours with ANC turned on. The buds can last up to 6 or 5 hours respectively. It's not the best battery life I've seen and it's a touch less than what the previous generation could deliver, but it's still good enough when you take the size of the whole package into consideration. And there is the wireless charging and also the quick charge feature, which can provide the buds with enough juice for 2 hours of use after only 10 minutes of charging. So at the end of the day, the battery department delivers a good overall performance in my opinion. Next up is connection. The Free Pro 2 comes with Bluetooth 5.2. Quick and easy pairing and the rock-solid connection is what I've got from the buds, regardless of whether I was using them with an Android or an iOS device. No signal dropouts or other issues whatsoever. We get support for SBC and AAC only, so there are no high-res audio codecs, but that's not something I would expect in this price range anyway. Lip sync is not a problem with movies, but just in case you run into any latency issues, you can switch to game mode by simply tapping the left button 3 times. Doing that brings the latency down to 80 milliseconds, which should be low enough for even hardcore gamers. We also get single bud mode, which means that each bud can be used on its own.
To make the phone call experience better, there are 3 microphones on each bud to pick up my voice. That's 6 mics in total if my math is right. The clarity is okay in a quiet room, and whatever I say remains relatively easy to understand even with some background chatter around, but I feel like the noise levels are a bit too high and the noise filtering could be a touch stronger here.
We get touch controls on the buds which work great with a high enough accuracy and quick enough reactions. You can control play, pause, volume, your voice assistant, the 3 different ANC modes, and of course phone calls using the touch-sensitive panels. You can also skip forward to the next track, but strangely enough you cannot skip back to the previous one. And that's because the engineers simply decided to use the triple tap function on the left bud for the game mode switch at the expense of the skip backward function. And since Earfun doesn't offer a smartphone app to come with their earbuds, you cannot change any of these settings at all. But still, the overall functionality of the touch controls is much better than what you can find on some even more expensive buds, so there is no reason to complain. There are no in-ear sensors on the buds, so you don't get autoplay pause, but again, that's not something you would expect for $80. It would be nice to have, so would be an app, but it is what it is. But what took me by surprise was how well the QuietSmart 2.0 active noise cancelling tech works on the Earfun Free Pro 2. It's actually one of the best you can find for under $100. There are 3 modes you can switch between: normal, noise cancelling, and ambient sound. Normal is basically ANC off, and ambient sound is a very intense transparency mode where loads of external noise gets channeled into the buds to improve your situational awareness. That could be helpful when you are out and about or when you go out for a Sunday morning run, for example. The ambient mode is similar on the Earfun Air Pro 2 in terms of its intensity, but I found that there is less white noise on the Free Pro 2, so I prefer it over the Air Pro 2. Compared to what I consider to be the best ANC earbuds in the category, the Soundcore Live P3 has a less intense and more muted but maybe less digital sounding transparency mode. And when it comes to blocking out all the external noises around you, the Live P3 has a slight edge over the Free Pro 2, but the two buds are really close. On the Earfun, traffic noise and white noise get dampened with high efficiency, and wind noise is less distracting than usual too, but dealing with higher frequencies proves to be a harder task to accomplish. But that last one applies to all earbuds basically, except for the very best ones anyway. Once more, there is no app to change any of the settings, but the ANC does a very good job in general with one caveat. Even though I find the fit and the comfort of the buds exceptional, I also find it a bit finicky when it comes to passive isolation. What I mean is that probably due to their small size, I have to play around a lot with these buds in order to achieve the best passive isolation and therefore the optimal active noise cancelling performance. At the same time, I can simply put in both the Live P3 and the Air Pro 2 and get the same results straight away without too much of a hassle. And that just proves what I always say in my videos, that the fit plays a huge role when it comes to ANC. But as long as you get a good fit with the Free Pro 2, you will be benefiting from their great active noise cancelling performance for sure. And now let's see what the 6mm composite drivers can deliver in terms of sound quality. First of all, we get loads of bass, and I mean loads of it. And it's not a bad thing, as it lends some extra energy to whatever song you listen to without muddying things up too much like the Soundcore Live P3 does. This sort of a dynamic presentation is quite enjoyable, especially during a workout or with electronic music. Or with any genre for that matter, as even acoustic music sounds good thanks to the clear, detailed and relatively open mid-range, which is not quite as recessed as on most earbuds in this price range. The highs come through with clarity, and I could only detect some signs of harshness at volume levels close to maximum. And talking about volume, I don't think many people will complain about that, as these buds can get really loud. The imaging is center focused, the sound stage is neither too wide nor it is too deep, and we don't get too much of a separation either, but the buds can still paint a precise enough picture of what's going on with all the musicians and instruments in front of us. The general musical performance improved compared to the original Free Pro, as we get a more balanced presentation now. When I compare it to the Air Pro 2, what I can hear is a slightly more bass in the Free Pro 2, with maybe a touch more forward mid-range and a bit better separation and air in the sound of the Air Pro 2. The Soundcore Live P3 sounds boomy and congested in comparison, but there is an EQ in the Soundcore app, which can help you with tailoring its sound to your taste. And to wrap everything up, let me make a few notes. First, these buds are better than their predecessor in almost every possible way, and they are well worth the slight increase in price. Second, their snug fit, the rubber ear wings, the intense ambient mode, the massive bass, and the IPX5 rating make them an excellent, low-cost alternative for more expensive sport earbuds. Third, in general, they are a great alternative for expensive buds for casual everyday use, and they are also an excellent option as a second pair or a backup pair. Fourth, if there was a smartphone app with only a few features such as some basic EQ settings or control remapping and some ANC modes maybe, these buds would instantly become the king in the under $100 category in my opinion. Fifth, I love them a lot because of their tiny size, their great design, the wireless charging, their energizing sound and their excellent active noise cancelling performance, so I would say they are easy to recommend for the money even without app support. But then again, having a smartphone app would make comparing them to the Soundcore Live P3 for example a bit more fair, or favorable to the Free Pro 2 I should say. Their active noise cancellation is almost as good as that of the Live P3, which won its category in my best ANC earbuds comparison, but it was mostly because of its custom settings in the app, not just its actual ANC performance alone. The controls on the Earfun are just as good as on the Live P3 if not better, but again, there are custom settings for those in the Soundcore app. And on top of that, there is an EQ and a better chance of getting some firmware upgrades down the road for the Live P3, all of which is made possible by having an app. But I believe you get what I mean by now. The Earfun Free Pro 2 are exceptional earbuds for the money, with one not so little caveat, and that's the lack of a smartphone app. And if my memory serves me well, I finished my review of the Earfun Air Pro 2 with the exact same conclusion, as those buds cost the same and perform very similarly to the Free Pro 2, but they are also held back a little by, let's say it together one last time, the lack of a smartphone app. Good job everyone. Okay, I guess it's about time to finish this review of the Earfun Free Pro 2. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Your comments are welcome as always. Thanks for watching. See you next time.